Yeah, good morning students. Somewhat different from the regular thing. This is related to some physics only. In the physics, we have many topics like, see, you can take, this is hyperphysics. So there are many different chapters like mechanics, electricity, light, sound, relativity, astrophysics, etc. All these topics with a simple manner you can learn very fast. Let us take mechanics. The mechanics we have, see, if you observe carefully, there are velocity, acceleration, conservation laws, periodic motion, physical units, all these things are there, Newton's laws. So these are mind map just. We can take velocity, acceleration. Velocity, so there is under motion velocity will come. So velocity and constant acceleration, non-constant acceleration, motion related to graphs, etc. See, in the velocity we have, let us take constant acceleration, the description of the motion in one dimension. In the description of motion in one dimension, see, motion is described when you relate displacement versus time. So the velocity, acceleration, these are the terms which come across in the mechanics, the first kinematics. So what is displacement? The shortest distance between 2 points. See, displacement is nothing but, here the displacement, the shortest distance between the 2 points, displacement is a vector quantity. If the distance with a specific direction is called displacement. See, go back to this. Here, if you observe, so there is a constant acceleration. The constant acceleration is nothing but, if a body moves with a, see, something like a straight line. If a body moves in a straight line, if you more detail, if you go, see, there is a average velocity is total displacement by time. So average velocity is equal to delta x divided by delta t. See, when the body is at initial position, the position is 0, their velocity is initial velocity, let us take v0. And after a time t seconds, the velocity is v, that is final velocity. It travelled a distance of delta x. So in this way, if you try to calculate, average velocity is equal to initial velocity plus final velocity by 2. See, basic calculations if you take. See, in the basic calculations, more explorations if you take, let us take the initial velocity and final velocity. The initial velocity is, let us assume that the initial velocity, if you take it as, let us take the initial velocity, so 10 meters per second. Yeah, initial velocity here, if you take, see, 10 meters per second. Final velocity, initial velocity here you can take it as 0. Then time, if you take time as 10 seconds. So initial velocity is 0, final velocity is 10, and time is 10 seconds. If you try to find out average velocity or distance, if you try to calculate, say, average velocity is nothing but 0 plus 10 by 2. This is called average velocity. Here you got whatever. See, let us take another value here. If you take another value, see, 20 meters per second if you take, here 20, and here if you take, see, 30, or you can take it as, so 30 you can take, 30 is initial, final is that. So 30 plus 20, the time is 10 seconds if you take. So 30 plus 20 is 50, 50 upon 2, if you try to find out, 30 minus 30 if you take, So the average velocity is 0. See, you can take the displacement if you try to calculate. The displacement, since the velocities are same, the displacement is 0. You can take here the velocity is different. Instead of minus 30, if you take here, so there is another value like, so final velocity you take 60. If you take 60, then displacement if you try to calculate, displacement, say 450. How you got this 450? So displacement formula, what is the displacement formula? Here you can take it as, the displacement formula is, if you try to take, so displacement is equal to, see, v square minus v naught square divided by 2a. First we have to calculate acceleration. Acceleration is equal to v minus v naught by t. V minus v naught by t. V is nothing but 60 here. 60 minus, okay, see, 30 divided by, the time is 10 seconds. So 60 minus 30 is 30. 30 upon 10 is 3. Acceleration you got 3. So v square means 60 square minus 30 square is equal to 2 into acceleration is 3. If you calculate, so a square minus b square, a plus b into a minus b, you can write 60 plus 30 90, 60 minus 30 30 divided by, so 2 into 3. If you calculate 3 10 ja, so 2 45s. So it means that 45 into 10 is 450. See how you got the calculation. Here you got already 450. See, 450 is the value you got in the calculation part. In this way you can do, see, very fast method you can calculate. For example, you take another values, the same question, if you take, see, another values here, if you try to take here, initial velocity, if you take here, initial velocity is, just for understanding sake I am giving these type of examples, see, 20, and final velocity, how to use this, the final velocity is, let us say, 80. See, time is, will change the time also here, the time is something like 5 seconds will take this time. So if you take 5 seconds, then calculations, if you try to calculate, see, displacement is 250, see, 80 plus 20 upon 2, average velocity is 50, so you can calculate in this manner. You see, acceleration is, you can calculate acceleration, 80 minus 20, 60 by 5, so 12 is the acceleration. So 12, if you try to calculate displacement is v square minus v naught square upon 2a. So then you calculate, you are going to get 250 meters. Change the values. See, more explanation, something like, you take it as velocity versus time. Here the velocity is, let us say, 30, that 30 meters per second. The time is here, if you take time is 20, then what is the displacement? The displacement is 600. 30 plus 30 into 20, displacement equal to velocity into time, constant velocity, average velocity into time. That's why 30 into 20, 600 you got. Similarly, if you try to calculate acceleration or something, here you got 60, the initial velocity you take it as some, so 30 meters per second. See, if you take 30 meters per second initial velocity, so time is 20, if you take, then acceleration will be what? Acceleration is 1.5, displacement is 900. So 30, 20, acceleration is 1.5. For this, the displacement is 900. How fastly this is called hyperphysics. You can calculate in a fast manner by changing the values. You can change here the value. For example, you change the value here. Instead of 45 you take different value. See 50 you take or 60 you take. 60 if you take and calculate the things. See if you calculate the things, 1200 meters you got. 60, 20, 1200. Once you got 1200, the acceleration if you try to find out, acceleration is 3. Once you got acceleration, this displacement is 1200. Already calculation is done. Within a short time they will see, these are all program related. That's why it is doing very fast calculation. I hope you understand this video. See, there are like this, there are many emotional concepts and graphs, etc. There are different graphs are also there. See, these are the graphs. Y is equal to half at square, s is equal to ut plus half at square, ut value 0. Like that you can calculate, and so there are different concepts we can learn within a fast time for all the chapters in the physics, even maths, etc. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching this video.